The knife harshly prodded into his wound. The agonizing pain sending shocks throughout his body. The girl above him giggled.
You could make this so much more boring for me, Kiri, sweetie. Why aren't you?
The redhead huffed in agony, ignoring the horny groans of the psychopath on top of him.
What's wrong? Why won't you get hard for me?
The boy coughed and forced a smile. There's only one girl I get hard for. Of course he knew he would regret saying that. The blade moved up to his neck, pressing into his skin and drawing blood.
Oh, I didn't realize I had a rival. Who is she?
Toga tilted her head. Or is it a he? Kirishima wasn't offended by that last comment, but maybe he could twist this into his favor. Yeah, I'm into guys. How dare he thought. This was so unmanly. Toga tilted her head to the other side before licking her lips.
Oh, really now?
She scoffed.
I don't buy it.
She grinned.
But nice try anyways.
He sighed in defeat. Kirishima hoped that the hero he was with could take this time to escape. This would have been so much less painful if this vile beast hadn't injected him with a quirk suppressant. Toga bit her lower lip and smiled.
I love to see you squirm, Kiri, sweetie.
As she began to grind against his crotch. He bit his lower lip. Despite his cuts and bruises, it managed to feel good, and he hated that. Suddenly her face was right up against his, and she whispered,
When I'm done skinning you, I'm going to wear it as a comfortable sweater, and I'm going to do all sorts of naughty things while inside you.
He could feel the cold edge penetrating his hip. And judging by the seething hot pain, he could tell how deep it went. It was a nauseating feeling. Dark, darker, yet darker. The darkness kept growing. The shadows cutting their sharp tendrils deeper and deeper into his flesh. Was he dead? Was this hell? Or was this a nightmare he would awake from one day? What was that noise? It's really obnoxious. The grip of the ever-surrounding darkness began to slowly slip. The pain intensified one last time, and one last time he stared into the abyss. It stared back. He screamed. His body jolted, sweat pouring down his face. His heart pumped fresh blood through his body, and he immediately felt dizzy. He heard a door fly open somewhere in the distance. Soft hands pressing him down. White. He was seeing nothing but white. White. He was seeing nothing but white. Where was he? What was happening? Something sharp pressed into his shoulder. Was it her? Was she back? No. This was a good pain. Slowly he calmed down. And the room began to shift. Colors began to form. Shapes began to make sense. First he looked to his left. A figure in white stood there with needle in hand, a soft smile on their face. Slowly he looked to his right. He could see a large and open window, depicting a starry night. No. Those were skyscrapers. He rolled his head back to the white figure. Where am I? He mumbled, helplessly. God, how unmanly did he sound right now? A soft gloved hand patted his head carefully. You're in the Hero Hospital of Camino Ward, said the white shape with an unbelievably soft voice. My name is Sister Agatha. I'm your night nurse. Try to sleep some more. I'll be checking up on you in a bit. Hospital? No, this didn't make sense. He was in a basement just a minute ago. In his mind, he could still hear the girl cackling. Before you leave, he croaked out weakly. Yes? How did I get here? Agatha was quiet for a moment. Kirishima was about to ask again, but then she spoke up. I checked your file. A really young boy brought you in, said his hero name was Deku. Deku. Thank the Lord, he thought. We needed to stitch you up quite a bit. Good thing your professional hero's license comes with free hero healthcare. She chuckled. It was obvious. To him, she was just simply trying to lighten the mood, but to him, it felt a little out of place. Anyway, sweetie, I'll need to be going now. And with that, Agatha left. Kirishima didn't think or say anything for at least 10 minutes. He just felt empty. God damn it. He growled as he suddenly realized that now everyone in his class was going to come to him the next day, shower him with pity and unwanted attention. He slowly moved his hand behind his head and stared at the ceiling. At least, so he hoped, you would be there. Your presence would certainly make him feel more manly. You arrived at the hospital after school had ended, and you had to threaten your entire class with your quirk to not join you on this adventure. You knew how much Eijiro hated attention as long as it was focused on him being in a situation like this. The only person accompanying you was Aizawa, mostly because he didn't want one of his students wandering off on their own. The incident was luckily kept under lock and key by Nezu and the hero agency that Kirishima was training under. All the media and the public knew was that a few days ago a young crying boy in a costume was carrying another seemingly dead and bleeding body to a hospital, and that was that. The world really wasn't the same without All Might. Something everybody learned the hard way. Okay, I'll be going to the cafeteria first. I haven't eaten in days, said Ayazawa when you two entered the hospital's lobby. Probably doesn't want to see me anyways. This room is 404, Ward B. You still got the pen? You nodded. Okay, give me your hand. You presented your right hand to him. I'll just quickly put my signature here. After what Izuku told me, you'll be needing something like this for a while. You know, toga. Hate that. Transformation quirks make me sick. After you finished the admittedly beautiful signature, your teacher vanished in the crowds of nurses, doctors, and visitors. With a slight heap of anxiety, you began wandering the wide and pristine labyrinth of the hospital. Without your boyfriend, it was pretty much impossible to muster up the courage to ask for directions, so you were hopelessly staring at the various signs and posters showing the way around. And when you finally had reached Ward B, room 404, on the 4th floor, you not only sighed in relief but also in anger, as you realized you had actually passed that door twice before. You gave a careful knock. Who's there? That sounded like Kirishima. You quickly entered, heart racing. The room was bright, really bright. Eiji was lying in his bed, blankets covering his lower half, his upper body hidden under bloody bandages. He looked you up and down. Is it really you? He asked. His voice, it had so many emotions within it. It made your heart make a nosedive. He raised your right hand and showed the signature, and he sighed in relief. So, how long was I gone, babe? He asked while you walked over to him.
Too long.
Ah, come on. Too long can mean anything. You were the only one he allowed himself to be a little bit more soft around.
Only 3 days.
He didn't answer, only averted his gaze.
I was scared, Kirishima,
you said as a tear rolled down your face. Ah, don't cry, he said. He raised his right hand and cupped your face. Everything's all right, okay? You sniffled and softly rubbed over the back of his bandaged hand. You two remained like this for a moment, until the door swung unceremoniously open. Alright, lovebirds, growled Aizawa. Sorry to interrupt the honeymoon, but I need Kirishima to tell me how this happened. Your teacher was carrying a notepad and a very sharp-looking pencil. Jeez, can't you knock? Laughed your boyfriend. I did. Twice. You and Kirishima blushed. Come on. Don't have the entire day. You wanted to give Aizawa a piece of your mind, just barging in and being so cold. But you also respected this man for the work he did, so you kept it to just a glance. And walking over to a chair that stood at the corner of the room. It's kind of a blur, but I was on patrol with, forgot his name. Azura started. I think it was something like Nightblade or something. He is one of the heroes of my agency, and he like ran off after a villain and instructed me to go back to HQ. Apparently the guy was a high-class villain. Dangerous for just the two of us to take down. I hate that I actually did what he told me to. He's dead, said Aizawa coldly. And so would you, if you wouldn't have followed his orders. Blight is dead? Ah, fuck. While on my way back to the agency, I got jumped by the shadow guy who got me into their little hideout before Kirishima got quiet. Is this how Bakugo felt? Your teacher gave a quick cough to make Kirishima continue with the story. Fine, I get it. That purple fart cloud teleported me into some dumb basement with this blonde girl, and she... Oh, fuck, she... The room fell silent, save for Kirishima's quiet sobs. You jumped up and raced to his bed. I'm sorry, I can't, he cried. Please don't make me think of that. You had never seen Kirishima cry like that. Somewhere behind you, you had your teacher's eye. This is all I needed. I'll be waiting outside. Don't make it too long, you two. Your heart felt like a solid block of ice seeing your boyfriend like this. It's fine. Please don't look at me like that, he said. But you didn't care. I'm sorry, you said before softly burying your head into his shoulder. I'm so sorry. He softly patted your back. Kirishima made a bite on his lower lip. Your nose was pressing right into a cut on his neck, but he didn't want you to feel bad for it. All he wanted was to be healed up again and spend an entire day and night at an amusement park just with you. Don't be sorry, babe, he said softly into your ear. I'm still alive. And you probably wouldn't be if they had gotten you too. The shoulder was now uncomfortably wet from your tears, but you didn't have the heart to tell you. He just quietly laid there, waiting for you to finish. I love you, was the only thing he said. I love you. Over and over, like a mantra.